know that wolf who helped Nagi, that was Shiranui. Or in other words, that was you 100 years ago. That was how you met your end after your adventure with Gramps. You battled and slew the dreaded Orochi, only to die yourself. Isun? Is that you? Lika! It's been ages. Too bad we had to meet like this. What made you go through the Spirit Gate anyway? Spirit Gate? What's that? All I remember is two owls appearing in a dream. They invited me to come play with them in the forest. Next thing I knew, I woke up there. Thank goodness you and your doggy came to save me. You had a dream about two owls? Aren't the guardian gods of Kamui owls? Why would the owls lead you here? Look, Ami. The sun. It's starting to wane. The day of darkness is about to begin. This day-long solar eclipse only happens once every 100 years. Day of darkness? What's that? It looks like something's taking a big bite out of the sun. Ami, you're the sun god. What's gonna happen to you if the sun disappears? Sun god? What's that? Lika, you can recite that volcanic incantation, can't you? It's supposed to make that frozen mountain Ezofuji erupt, right? Well, you'd better do it, 'cause Kamui's gonna freeze if you don't. Volcanic incantation? What's that? You mean that prayer we offered to the mountain by the lake? Yeah, I can mimic that prayer of Old Man Kemu perfectly. He's even told me that I do it really well. I know. That's why we need your help back in the village. Let's go, Ami. Back to Wepkir, as fast as you can. Indeed, but first things first, I recommend you save. Alrighty, with that out of the way, hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Ōkami. Last time, in the depths of the Spirit Gate, we witnessed the birth of the legend of Nagi, Orochi, and Shiranui. Man oh man, was it some crazy stuff. And we also discovered that Lika had in fact wandered through the Spirit Gate, and we are now in the process of bringing her back to Wepkir. So let's not waste any time, let's get right on to it. Whoa. Now that's one nasty blizzard. It's blowing in from the rear of the village. Anyway, we gotta get Lika to the altar. We're almost to the edge of Laoji Lake. Now, you might notice I have indeed equipped the Thunder Edge, and I have also upgraded it with Gold Dust. This is our first 5th tier weapon, and with that comes some interesting properties. The 5th tier weapons are obviously far and away the most powerful weapons of their category. However, each 5th tier weapon is also a source of an element that you can control with your brush. For example, the Thunder Edge right here actually allows you to make lightning whenever you want, which is a really, really interesting property, and I think it's a really cool way to give these last weapons a little bit of character, if nothing else. Sheesh. What's up with this nasty blizzard? I mean, where the heck does this thing come from? Very interesting and foreboding indeed. As you can see, it is very, very dark outside, and from some portions of Nippon you can actually see that the sun does indeed have a bit of a bite taken out of it, so the day of darkness is in fact almost upon us. And as Isun mentioned, what could possibly happen to the sun god when the sun disappears from the sky? Really, really foreboding thought. What's even more foreboding is it would seem the blizzard is originating from all the way back here at the very back of Laoji Lake. You have to wonder what is causing it. Perhaps we will find out once we reach the top of the hill. What's everyone doing here? Hey, I brought Lika, everyone. So what's up with this nasty blizzard? It's the day of darkness. This day comes once every 100 years. Now it's upon us again. That's why the monsters are making the blizzard even fiercer. And Ōki, how could he be so irresponsible at a time like this? He destroyed the gate here on his way to the Ōkami shrine. What? I tried to stop him, but he was waving the Kutone sword about. And he was through the gate before I could do a thing. Now Kamui could freeze over whether the eclipse comes or not. Ōki suddenly disappeared after we defeated Orochi. Never thought he'd come here and do something like this. I bet he just wants to steal all the glory for himself. No, Ōki's not like that. I understand why he took the Divine Kutone sword. He was trying to do what was right for the village. When the two demons got violent at the shrine on Ezofuji, it was Ōki who came to Kemu's rescue. Huh? I thought Samagal was the one who saved Old Man Kemu. Ōki acted as bait so that Kemu and Samagal could escape. They survived because Ōki acted as their shield and fought for them. Ōki is the strongest among us, but even so, he was no match for them. He was lucky to come home alive. Wow, that's quite a feat, surviving a battle against two demons. But he was angry that he couldn't defeat the demons. So he took the sword and left the village to fight again. I know it's unforgivable that he stole the sword like that, but he was just trying to do the right thing. All he cares about is doing what's best for the village. It won't be long before the eclipse makes the sun disappear. If the volcanic incantation doesn't start Ezofuji erupting, Kamui will get colder until it freezes over completely. Please, Lika. We're relying on you to make this work. Ōki always told me what kind of Ōina he wanted me to become. He told me to be a good Ōina and use my power to help everyone. Do you think it'd help everyone if I prayed like I always do? Who cares about this stupid blizzard? 99% sure that's another typo. I'm pretty sure cares isn't supposed to have an apostrophe in it. I mean, that's just me. I'm gonna pray for our mountain to come back to life. That's my girl. Let's go, my little warrior. If you don't start the incantation soon, it'll be too late. And off they go to the altar to pray, and indeed, if you go down there, I believe you can see Lika praying, but I think we don't want to waste any time. We need to head into the Ōkami shrine after Ōki. Are you really gonna go through there, Ami? The ruins of the Ōkami shrine lie within Ezofuji. It's a strange place discovered by the people of Wepkir long ago. At the peak lies an altar with the statues of the twin demons. And the trail up there is littered with odd contraptions. The twin demons are known as Lechku and Nechku. Their altar statues came to life and terrorized this land long ago. They were defeated and imprisoned by a legendary Ōina hero. But it seems they have broken free and are once again wreaking havoc. This can't just be a coincidence. I mean, remember what that no-good Ninetales said? You know, something about Yami, ruler of the land of the darkness. I don't know exactly who this Yami character is, but all sorts of strange things started happening once Orochi returned. Who knows if this mountain shrine has anything to do with all that. But I think we need to be extra careful this time. Welcome to the Ōku Shrine, the final major dungeon in Ōkami. As you can see, there are some cannons right here, and this is a pretty major theme in this dungeon. This dungeon is huge, and it's got lots of crazy contraptions in it. Wait a sec, Ami. See those cannons over there? I'm not so sure they're there to greet us. Let's take it slow and easy. Now, I want to point out, we're going to be using a lot of powers in this area, and the first one we're going to be using is Veil of Mist, because we need to slow down those bullets so we can send them back to those cannons. When we do that, we will destroy the cannons. Now, one thing that I really like about this dungeon is you use, I believe, all or nearly all of your powers to explore this place, and I think it's really, really cool how they did that, that you use all of your powers in this dungeon, but that's pretty much a theme everywhere in Ōkami. You never get a power that you just sort of don't use again. They always find new and creative ways to use the powers. Anyway, right here is a stray bead, the first of 3 in this dungeon, although the only one that we can get for like the first half of the place. Anyway, let's head inside. And I gotta say, you might hear it in the music, this place is pretty heavily themed around clocks, which won't really make sense until later, but I really like the music because it has a very clock-like theme, and I'm kind of a sucker for areas that do that. Anyway, this right here, I think, is either the last or second to last lockjaw in the entire game, which is definitely worth noting. And as you can see, this ice, when we walk over it, it will in fact shatter if we stay on it too long, so we definitely need to be careful. Anyway, right here, we get to use fire to get through here, which is awesome. I love this dungeon. It's really, really cool, and the bosses in particular are very well done, although we won't be getting to that for a while. And can I please have this work just one time? There we go. You definitely want to be careful about that ice up there, because it can be a little bit risky. Anyhow, right here is probably one of the most creative puzzles in the entire game. Looking over it, you're probably thinking, oh, it's a scale, what's so important about a scale? Anyway, first things first, what we want to do is we want to take out this ice over here. Now, can I please have this attack go off one time? There we go. Alright, I think I'll just use this fire over here for this other one. Once we've done that, the scale will become active again, and as you can see right over here, it will activate a portion of that pathway right there. What the? Is this a kind of game or something? I mean, we've been playing a game for like 41 and change episodes at this point, Isoon. Are we supposed to balance against that weight on the other side? Well, in case you haven't noticed, I don't weigh a ton. Yes, indeed, there is a weight over on that side of the scale, so what we want to do is there are these little trees right here. You want to pick one of these up and then jump right on over to the scale and then set it down, and then what you can do is you can use bloom on it. When you use bloom on it, the tree will grow and hence it will weigh more. Now, what if you already have a grown tree? You power slash it, and it will return to small size. So this puzzle right here has already used fire, power slash, and bloom, which are all abilities that we gained in the first third of our adventure. Anyway, once we've done that, we balance the scale, and that will be activated. So we've already used those abilities, and we've also used Veil of Mist a couple of times. In this area. And we're also going to have to use wind up here, and I think I noticed a treasure chest somewhere. Did I jump the wrong way? I probably jumped the wrong way or something like that. This room can get a little disorienting, unfortunately. Anyway, right over here, we have to use wind to move that ball of ice, because as you can imagine, direct contact with that thing would be a little bit of a health problem. So we're just going to blow it all the way over this way, and there is a little bit of a node in the ground that we want it to fit in. I'm not sure if this is the last time we see ball pushing physics in the game, but it's one of the last times, and for that I am very grateful. Anyhow, let's head right on over here. Aha, yeah, I just jumped the complete wrong direction. This treasure chest contains probably something optional. Vengeance slip, very good. Alright, so we got that out of the way. And over here we have our key. And I think this might be the last key in the entire game, which is really, really crazy. You wouldn't really think that this is the last major dungeon, but indeed it is. The last dungeon with, like, navigation puzzles like this and a map. Yeah, this is it, which is kind of crazy. That's not to say we're at the end of the game. There's still a little bit more for us to go. But yeah, in terms of just traditional dungeon gameplay, this is the last of it, which is kind of crazy. Although this dungeon is so huge, I'm not really bothered by that fact, because they really go above and beyond in this place. Anyway, bring the key right over here, and stab him through the eye. Alright. And now, in this room, we get to use even more abilities. We have to use fire once again to melt this, and this will spawn in a pond of water. Very nice. No praise to be had, unfortunately, but once we do that, we get to use Water Spout. Like, they just throw so many powers at you in this area. It's great. I really love how this dungeon is laid out, how you get to use all of these powers, and I feel like for that reason, this dungeon in particular really nails what Zelda has strived to be for a long time, but has never really quite achieved to the caliber they've done here. Case in point, pan up the camera, and we also get to use Catwalk in this area. It's crazy. They have so much stuff to... What the... Okay. Don't even ask me how on earth that counted for our fire ability. I just wanted to get some good coverage on the catwalk, that's all. Ay, ay, ay. This game always has something to throw at me. Ay, ay, ay. Anyhow, right here we have a couple more of these cannons that you're definitely gonna want to keep in mind. And right over here, we got some very, very rapidly spinning platforms. But what you want to do, actually, is you sort of want to jump underneath, because there is actually a hidden treasure right over here that I don't think you're going to grab otherwise. Etched glass, which I think sells for quite a bit, and I have a really decent amount of money going at this point. You're going to want to have 500,000 by the end of this dungeon, and if you do well in the boss fights and you grab all of the treasure, you shouldn't have any trouble. Also, cherry bomb? Yes, indeed. Anyway, can we make this jump with our double jump? Yes, we can. Very good. This will plunk us right back where we were, so it's not too big of a detour out of the way to grab that treasure. That's just one of the more well-hidden ones that I figured I would point out, just because a lot of people don't actually know that it's there, because you have to intentionally screw up that puzzle in order to actually... in order to actually get a hold of it. Alrighty, anyway, what you want to do is you want to freeze time so that you can actually navigate across these platforms. And there's actually a second one right over here that you're going to want to... Ow! Ow! Oh, don't fall. Okay. Ooh, I was afraid I was going to fall there. Anyway, you're going to want to keep Veil of Mist up pretty much entirely through this area, unless you really want to deal with those cannons. But you don't have to worry about the cannons all that much, because once we get up here and step on this, the platforms will stall, and all of the cannons will be destroyed, which is an interesting security measure, but I mean, I guess we'll work with it. Now, right around here, I don't think there's anything. It's just a shortcut back down, definitely something worth noting. And this right here is the most pointless Golden Gate in the entire game. Can you see why? You see it? Well, I'll tell you, there's a save mirror right after it. Immediately after it. Don't ask me why that choice was made. It's the most bizarre choice ever. It makes no sense to have a Golden Gate there. Also, there is a treasure up there that I think I would like to try and get a hold of. So let's slash that open. Kutani Pottery, very nice. Alrighty, so heading right through here, we come to a bit of an outdoors area, so we get to use fire again, which is very good. And over there you can also see there's quite a bit to explore, although I don't think we want to explore that quite yet. We will get a chance a little bit later, but I think where we want to go is right over this way. And of course, there's a clover, which is very nice. Now, it's worth noting, this is not one of those areas that you can never come back to once you've completed it. So if you miss some stuff in this area, like stray beads, you don't have to worry, because you can come back here anytime. Stop, Ami. See those glowing red beasts? Those are flame spiders. They resemble a blocking spider or a platform spider. But as you can see, they'll burn you real good if you touch them. Let's play it safe, okay? You might get hurt if you try to hitch a ride like you usually do. Yes, indeed. For now, we cannot do anything with these guys, so I just recommend using Veil of Mist to sneak past them without risk of getting hurt. Anyway, right over here, I believe, is a fight with a new enemy. This is a Great Tengu, which is basically a more powerful version of the Blue Cyclops, and like the Blue Cyclops, this guy is very, very weak to having the sub-glaive used on him. Unfortunately, he is also very good at dishing out some serious damage, so I just recommend keeping out of his way as much as you can, and spamming the sub-glaive as much as possible. Unfortunately, after you hit him a whole bunch, he'll go into this berserk mode, and I'm pretty sure once he's in this mode, you really can't do much to him, and he will do a lot of damage to you if he hits you while he's in this state. So I recommend using Veil of Mist to keep out of his way as much as you can, because he will mess you up. Anyway, I think we should be able to take him down right here, and unfortunately, I'm going to try Deluge right here, although I know it's not going to work because his Floral Finisher is a power that we do not have yet. Anyway, with that, he is down. And over here, we got something a bit interesting. Ami, look. Check out this big contraption. It's got a nasty blizzard blowing right out of it. Can you believe those no-good demons? They're trying to turn Kamui into a giant ice cube with this thing. We gotta stop it now, Ami. Your technique should be up to the task. I mean, this contraption doesn't look all that complicated. I don't know, it's decently complicated looking. Anyway, you are required to use 3 powers for this puzzle, which I think is awesome. Actually, no, 4. First, we have to use Cherry Bomb to get through here. And we have this room right here, which seems to give a bit of a hint as to how to solve this puzzle. Hey, Ami, check out this huge pattern carved on the floor. Very interesting indeed. Also, just because they can, they decided to chuck one last cursed tree in here, and I think this is the last one in the entire game, believe it or not. Anyway, if you count that as part of the puzzle, you actually have to use Bloom here too, which means we're up to like a whopping 5, because right here we're going to use Wind, and that will reveal what it is we are supposed to do. Seems we have to have this all pointing in the correct direction in order to stop that machine. So if we head right back outside, you will notice that this is a bit of a roulette machine, believe it or not. So what you want to do is you want to slow down time, although the first one isn't really moving all that fast. We want that first one moving up. I think that'll count. And we want to slash the, oh no, we have to use fire on this too. Wowee, that's crazy. We use fire on that, and we will activate a little bit of a switch. Flip that switch, and it will stop one of them. Give us a good pause with Veil of Mist. Slash it again to stop 2 of them. And give it another stop with Veil of Mist, and slash again to complete the puzzle. I think it's here. That 13th and final brush technique you lost. We finally found it! Ah, Amaterasu, origin of all that is good and mother to us all. In your absence, I took shelter here, only to become trapped. Beings of evil defile the world with impurity and darkness. Like a mighty snow flurry, I, Itegami, god of ice, have returned. I grant you the ability to freeze your foes to absolute zero. I am the last of the 13 gods you sought. You now possess the power to put an end to the evil forever. The 13th and final brush god is Itegami, the god of ice. You know what this means, Ami. You've now recovered all the brush techniques you lost. Whoa, check out Itegami, Ami. We have obtained the divine instrument's solar flare, the weapon wielded by Shiranui himself. Well, I guess that's it. We found the long-awaited 13th and final technique. Itegami's blizzard power can freeze any monster to the bone. A fitting power to top off the rest, like icing on a cake. Hey, check out that flame spider over there. It'll made a perfect first victim. Typos, oh my goodness. Place your brush on a mass of ice to harness its power, and then draw a line to the flame spider. Do that, and the power of ice should rush into your brush. Go ahead, give that bone-chilling brush technique a try. So, like fire, water, and electricity before it, we now possess the power to redirect ice. Haha, that no-good flame spider's frozen solid. So that's the power of Blizzard, the final brush technique. At last, I've seen all 13 of your techniques. The 13 celestial brush techniques, the power of the gods. Well, the celebrations are just gonna have to wait. The first order of business is getting out of here alive. I mean, what use will all the techniques be if I'm dead? Now don't go doing anything stupid and getting us killed, Ami. Alrighty, with that, we are actually automatically equipped with the solar flare, which is interesting. However, I don't want to have this weapon equipped just yet, simply because we've only been using the Thunder Edge for like an episode, and I think each weapon should get its own time in the sun. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to be keeping Solar Flare in the ranks for the final area of the game, because even though this is the last dungeon, it is not the final area. Although it is worth pointing out that, like the Thunder Edge, the Solar Flare does have an elemental source. In this case, you can use it as a source of fire, which is really, really awesome. Anyway, with that, now that we have met Itegami and obtained all 13 celestial brush techniques, I think we are going to be ending things off here. So, next time on Ōkami, we are going to be continuing our exploration of the Wauku Shrine, and hopefully putting an end to the evil that seeks to destroy Kamui, and indeed, the world. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Well, I went back to save, and there is a mandatory fight with a poltergeist on the way back to the save mirror, because of course there is. Ay ay ay. Just when I'm about to end off the episode, some random crap happens, and Ay ay ay. Alright, so I guess you're getting a little bit more episode right here, and doesn't wind do anything to this guy? I could have sworn it did. Alright, I don't really like fighting the poltergeist all that much, I do have to admit. But I mean, I guess we'll just have to make it work. But yeah, I guess this is the first time that that has actually ever happened in the LP, where I end a video and then just something dumb happens. And yeah, ah well. Oh wow, this Thunder Edge does a lot more damage than I recall it doing. Now, is your floral finisher wind? Yeah, it is. Nice. Alrighty. So, yeah, I guess now we're ending the video. Thanks, game.
Ōkami